Hello, and welcome to Competitive Communicators, where you only compete against yourself. I'll be giving a brief introduction to Zoom if this is your first time joining us. The first button I'll be explaining to you is the mute button, which is on the very left bottom corner of your screen. Please click on that if not already, so that you do not interrupt the speakers. Next, you'll see a start video. You'll use this if you need to walk away from your computer, if you would like a snack, but when you return to your computer, please share videos so we can see your lovely smiles. Next is our chat box. Once you click on this, it'll open a chat window where you can chat to the entire group, or if you click on the down arrow, you can select a specific person, such as one of our speakers, and leave them some feedback, such as something that you really enjoyed about their speech, or something you saw that you thought that might help them improve their speech for the next time. Lastly, it is our policy that participating in our meeting, you agree that a recording will be available publicly on our YouTube channel, website, and other public media. I now turn the meeting over to our president, Aaron Long.
Thank you very much, though. Fellow Toastmasters from all around the world, my name is Aaron. I'm the president of this club. Welcome to Communicators, where you compete with yourself. So today is mentoring day and mentoring week, right? It's always inspired by Sunny that if there's a mentor among the crowd, type in a small little private message and send it to her directly right now, because we want to promote the appreciation for mentors all around the world. We always have a custom in Toastmasters in Competitive Communicators that we will always do the introduction first. So we welcome all the guests that come by, and after which we'll proceed on to the normal session of a Toastmaster meeting. So may I first introduce, let me see, well, Scott is definitely an old friend of ours. Let me invite Scott up the stage to introduce himself. Everyone will introduce himself, his name, where they're from, and one thing they think a mentor should have in their attributes.
Hey guys.
Hi guys.
Okay. Hi. I'm Scott. Oh, sorry. Do I just?
No,
am I okay?
Am
I supposed to go?
You first. Yeah, Scott, you first.
Okay. Sorry. Thanks. Hi guys. I think this is like either my third or fourth meeting. I took a long break since it was the holiday season, but I should be back now. Thanks for having me. One thing that I think a mentor should have, like one quality, is probably empathy. I think that's pretty important. You kind of need that to kind of embrace the differences between you and the other person, and to try to understand or put yourself in the other person's shoes, I guess. I think that's a good quality I consider personally a good mentor should have. And, yep. Hey guys, hi again. I think I'm done. I'll pass it back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Give a round of applause. Next, I would like to pass to the other Scott.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. My name is Scott Johnston. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster. I come from Australia, central coast of New South Wales, just above Sydney. And what do I think? I think a mentor and a mentee, or what we call now protege, need to be really matched as such. They need to be on the same page. But a mentor, really experienced person that can actually really guide their mentee or protege in the direction that they need to go, or the help they can do. And also another good thing I like about being a mentor is not necessarily a mentor can be one-on-one or for a new member. It can be for an experienced member that needs mentoring in one section that maybe they lack a bit of experience. So a mentor is very multifaceted. Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Give a round of applause again. Next, May I invite Isabel up the stage?
Hi, I'm Isabel from Adequacy, Maryland. Is there anything particular I should introduce myself, Mr. President?
Where you're from, and also about the mentor. What do you think the one attribute you want to talk about?
Oh, mentor. Well, I would repeat a quote that I had before. Every great person have a great mentor, and mentor can really change a person's life. That's how I felt strongly when I had a good mentor, and which is our club member and Vice President of Education, Sunny Fridge. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Next, may I welcome up Nick?
Thank you, Mr. President. Welcome to everybody all around the world. My name's Nick. I live in Manchester in England. I'm president of my Bricks and Mortar Club. I'm a member over here at Competitive Communicators and enjoying everything, including the sunshine. Well, it's not real sunshine. What do I think a mentor needs to have? I think a mentor needs to have been there and done that. Now, that may not be exactly the same that as the protege is trying to get to, but at least they must have done something, and then to be able to draw on experience and also signpost to other people as well. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Next, may I welcome Kanana?
Hello, Toastmasters. I am Kannan Shankara. I am from Baltimore, Maryland, which is closer to the nation's capital, USA. I would like to welcome everyone to the Competitive Communicators Club. I have been mentored by some great senior Toastmasters, Nyla Miller in particular. She provided me the support needed. Currently, I am mentoring 7 Toastmasters from different clubs. I am also providing the same support to those new Toastmasters so that they can excel in their Toastmaster journey. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Next, may I invite our distinguished member, Tricia Palmer, to introduce herself?
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I'm Teresa Palmer, currently residing in Alabama. And to me, a mentor is somebody who is available. Because I think sometimes what happens is, and it had happened to me, I had a mentor when I started Toastmasters, but the mentor mentored so many people that the mentor didn't have time to mentor me. So I think the main thing is that you have to have somebody who's available and who's committed to do that. And that's my opinion. And back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Next time, may I welcome Tricia Grove?
Hello, I'm Trish. I live near Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and I think that a mentor needs to, so I think someone already said that, it needs to have experience, needs to have done it, whatever that is, has been part of the Toastmaster family and understands the roles and is able to explain those roles to the new member. Not everyone has that skill, and that's okay. But the mentor should definitely have those skills. Back to you.
Thank you. Tricia is our lovely SAA and also the Toastmaster of the day, so you'll be hearing her more often later on. Next, may I welcome Sunny?
Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I am Sunny Fridge, Vice President of Education for Competitive Communicators. And I love that this month is National Mentoring Month, and we are celebrating the power of relationships. So I've heard some great thoughts already. I agree with all of them. I also would say accountability is pretty important in a relationship between a mentor and a mentee. I'm going to throw it right back at you. My friend Isabel, she's a great mentee, and I also have another mentee, Min Lu. So I'm very pleased to have him right in this club. And my mentor, John Maxwell, has said he writes books for people that he may never meet. And so I also have people like John Maxwell, Les Brown, Tony Robbins. Those are some of the great mentors who I may not have known, but I have appreciated what I have learned from them. And I also include the Oprah Winfrey among those mentors. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Your round of applause. Wonderful. And if you have any questions about the education program or about anything about this club other than me, Sunny will be the person to approach to. Next is our VPM Bingo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Liu Ming, or call me Ming. I'm the VPM of our club. I'm excited to see all the familiar faces in our meeting today and old friends and new friends. And in terms of today, this month is mentorship celebration. I didn't know that until just now. I was listening to everybody's opinion and insights about what mentorship is. I, again, agree with them all. And I feel so lucky, so grateful to have found so many mentors. And one of them is Sunny. And I love working with you. You helped me so much. I feel like my word is limited to express my gratitude. And also, thank for all the mentors that I have experienced. I think it's a wonderful month, wonderful time to celebrate this relationship in our Toastmasters. Now, back to you, our President Aaron. Thank you for the time to introduce myself. Thank you.
Next, may I welcome Joanne Foster.
Yes, hi, good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here this evening. I'm coming to you from Hanover, Maryland, which is just south of Baltimore. And I think a mentor to me is an encourager, someone who encourages and someone who can easily find strengths in the mentee. So thank you, good evening. Back to you, Aaron.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Next, may I welcome Darren.
Hi, I'm Darren from Brisbane, Australia. And I think one of the qualities of a good mentor is patience. Ability to take your time to understand your mentee and to deliver the good teaching that a mentor should provide a mentee. Thank you. And back to you, Mr. President.
Your boss. Next, I would like to welcome our club advisor, Cheryl.
Thank you, Mr. President. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters and our wonderful guests. I am Cheryl Poirier. I'm coming from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, where our environment looks like the picture I have on my screen. I think the one quality that hasn't been mentioned yet for mentors is that they be honest. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. If there was one person that I'm admiring as a mentor to be, Cheryl will be the one person that I will approach to. Next, I would like to welcome Matt up the stage.
Thank you, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Matt Smittle. I live in Georgia. And a couple things I think a mentor should have. A mentor should be non-judgmental, and a mentor should practice what they preach. Mr. President.
Thank you very much for a very concise answer. Next, I would like to welcome our dear old friend and also member, Frank, up the stage.
Hi. Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Frank Rubio, and I'm coming to you from North Carolina, Indian Trail. And for being a mentor, there's a lot to say about that. Got to be a good listener. But also, I'm looking, as far as a mentor, I seem to, whatever I put in, I get it 3 or 4 times back. And it's a very rewarding experience. So I love being a mentor. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Next, I would like to welcome our very frequent guest, Chris Mitchell, up the stage.
we go. Okay, got my mic on.
There we go. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. My name is Chris Mitchell. I'm from the state of Missouri here in the United States, where it is National Mentoring Month. I've been a mentor. Right now, I'm mentoring a new club that's in the area, as well as I've been a mentor through the Big Brothers Big Sisters program here in the United States for the last 7 years. One of the things I find very important as a mentor is to have compassion, because the person that you're usually mentoring, your mentee or your protege, is going to be nervous, going to have questions. You want to make sure you're compassionate and they feel comfortable speaking to you and asking their questions without having fear of you judging them. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much for your info. Next, I would like to welcome Rolando Goldman.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Rolando Goldman. I'm in Palm Beach, Florida. I'm delighted to be here. And also, I'm so grateful that we have so many great and wonderful mentors on this club. So I'm always looking forward to come over here and learn from those great mentors. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Next, I would like to welcome our guest, Ursula, right? If I pronounce it correctly. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm Ursula Wright, and I am calling from San Diego. Usually I can say sunny San Diego, but it has been raining here for about 4 to 5 days. So it's rainy San Diego, but we're not complaining because it's been a little dry around here over the last 10 years. So we're welcoming the rain. I did not know that it was Mentor Month, and it's a wonderful thing to celebrate mentors. I've had a lot of them throughout my lifetime. And I would say that one of the key characteristics of a mentor, a good mentor, is active listening. So making sure that they fully understand what their mentee is saying and being able to hear what's said and what was left unsaid so that they know how to answer and how to respond. So active listening is a key characteristic of a mentor. Thank you very much, and back to you, Mr. President.
Next, I would like to welcome Sir Dariga. If you're still there. Yay.
Fellow Toastmasters, a mentor to me is someone who really, really wants to help you to succeed, who corrects you in a gentle way, because we're all learning together. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to speed things up because we have kind of overrun by 5. Next is Jerry Wong.
Hello everyone. Yeah, I'm from Ellicott City, Maryland. I just applied membership. I sent out a membership application on Saturday. Still waiting for approval. I'm glad to be part of you. Yet a good mentor to me, I think, is someone who can understand my strengths and my weakness and can provide guidance in an efficient way and in a manner I can accept and I can deploy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Final fee. May I invite Dana J, if he's still there. Dana J. Nope, he's busy, I think. Next, Harry Johns. Our frequent guest.
Harry Johns, Las Vegas. And the number one thing I would look for in a mentor is somebody who is not a friend. I want somebody that can teach me, that can tell me I'm wrong, tell me how to improve. Because too many wimpy people who try and be friendly just don't come out with harsh, miserable words. I mean, Come on, if you're trying to learn, advance the guy. In the military, I used to advance people all the time because I was a mentor. Well, I wasn't called a mentor. I was called a drill sergeant. So I really believe if you want to help people, you have to be able to tell them that they're absolutely wrong and how to improve.
Thank you very much, Harry. Finally, may I welcome William Thomas, I presume.
Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmaster, my name is William Thomas, Hollywood, Florida. I am mentoring but now 14 people from 12 different clubs, and I did know today was Mentor Month. I think a mentor needs to be someone who can help and also can encourage, but also can help us with our problems, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, though. Give a round of applause for everyone to introduce themselves. Finally, for me, a mentor should have, in my opinion, is being authentic and genuine. So that actually connects with people. So to me, that is very important. Now, may I really throw the ball to our best person, the man with many hats, or the lady with many hats, our Toastmaster of the day, Tricia, Grow, to lead the meeting. Give a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Aaron. And we do not run the meeting all by myself. I have many people that will be helping me. And I would like to spotlight them and have them explain their duties so that you will know how to do it the next time. The first person I will be liking to explain their duties is our counter, Matthew.
Yes, Madam Toastmaster. As all counter, I'll be listening for ums, ahs, ers, double clutches. A lot of times when we don't know what to say, instead of pausing, we will use these crutch words. So I will tally them up and give a report to the general evaluator at the end of the meeting. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Matthew. And I see our grammarian is a guest, Dhananjay. Dhananjay, do you have our explanation of your role today for your grammarian?
I think it's busy for the time being.
Okay, not a problem. Normally, a grammarian will be listening to uses of English language, both good and bad, and hopefully we'll be providing a word of the day. When you have a moment, Dhananjay, please provide the word of the day in the chat. Next, we have a body language monitor who will be Rolando. Rolando, would you please give an explanation of what your duties are today?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. As a body language monitor, I'll be watching, of course, for body language. How well you look through the camera. I'll be watching for online suitable presence, watching the visual effects, see how well you look during your presentation. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Rolando. And of course, we have a chat monitor as well. And tonight that will be our president, Aaron. Aaron, would you please explain what you'll be doing?
Thank you very much, though. So my role as a chat monitor is actually to look at all the wonderful phrases mentioned in the chat and actually keep jots down so that I can do a report at the end of the meeting as a form of summary. Back to you.
Thank you. And I feel one of the most important roles is the timer. And tonight that will be Cheryl. Cheryl, would you please explain your duties and the parameters you'll be using to show us our timing?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. My duty is to time all parts of the meeting, and I believe the Toastmaster will be calling on me for more specifics for parts like the prepared speakers and our table topic speakers. I have colored cards, courtesy of Nick, which I will be holding up to my camera so that you can see how much time you have left. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. And today tonight or this afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from, we have a very important piece of that we're going to be doing is a new officer installation ceremony, which will be handled by Sunny. At this time, I will turn the meeting over to Sunny.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. And I will be assisted by my team member, Minlu, who will start sharing right now. Today, we will be having our installation ceremony for officers that are stepping up and helping our team do better and become a successful Toastmasters and hopefully President's Distinguished. And we will also induct new members into the Hall of Fame. So I'm going to ask for help. You can change. You can click to the next slide, please. And so again, we will start with the new officers installation. And we have 3 members. Matthew Smittle, who has agreed to become our secretary, Isabel Kaduri, who is already acting as our vice president of PR, and our very own Min Lu, who is serving as vice president of membership. Actually, all 3 of these members have already been doing the duties. So we will start now. The Officer Installation Pledge. All 3 of you together, please affirm your commitment to the CompetitiveCommunicators.com club by answering I will to the following statements. You can unmute your mics right now. Do you promise to attend meetings regularly and prepare carefully for each assignment?
I will.
I will.
Next.
I will.
I'm sorry, just a second. Next, Minlu.
Oh, I will.
No, I was actually asking you to advance
Oh, sorry.
the slide, please. Okay, we will begin with the installation of our Secretary, Matt Smittle. Secretary Matt Smittle, you are responsible for maintaining an accurate club roster, mailing the club officer list to world headquarters, and handling general club correspondence. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Thank you. Next. Vice President of Public Relations, Isabel Kaduri. Your job is to promote the club on social media and potential guests, upload the online meeting to Facebook, and support other membership programs. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Thank you. And last but not least, our Vice President of Membership, Min Lu. Your job is to conduct an ongoing membership program that will promote the membership goals of this club. You should follow up on guests, and I know you are so good at that, and help retain current members. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Wonderful. Thank you all. I believe there might be one more slide. And now we will ask each of you to please raise your right hand. Wonderful. Raise your right hand. And the growth and development of the Toastmasters program depends largely upon the actions of this group. On your honor as men and women of Toastmasters, do you pledge to individually and collectively stand by this club and fellow executive officers and work with it throughout the coming year? If so, say, I will.
I will.
I will.
Wonderful. Next. Oops. We now go to new member induction. I hand the virtual lectern back to Min Lu. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. What an honor to be the one who's been installed and then immediately take the role to introduce our new members. Thank you so much, our Vice President of Education, Sunny, and you're a great mentor. I just want to say that again out loud, and it's such a pleasure to work with you. Everyone, if you have any question about our Toastmasters pathway, she's really wonderful a person for you to approach. She has all the answers. She will be really committed to help you. Now, for our new member induction, I would love to introduce you the new members that have been with us and who have not experienced the new member induction yet. So by looking at the name, you might consider, oh, some of them are already feeling like senior members, such as Nick. And also, I just wanted to say that this is a great space for us to share this experience, because for me, this is actually the first time. So that's another testimonial to show, hey, Toastmaster platform is a place for you to experiment, for you to try something new if you wanted to give it a try. Okay, so for this new member induction, this is space for us to get to know and welcome Matthew W. Smithel, if I pronounced the name correctly. If I did it wrong, forgive me. Next one is Nick Lakhani, Scott Yu, Darren Won, Imad Gomit, and Jose G. Nealto. So I wanted to say that everyone, being the members of our club is a wonderful experience. It's a unique experience as Toastmaster. Why I'm saying this? Check out our website. Do you know, everybody, once you enroll as a member, you will have the access to edit your own member profile. So if you go to the website, you look at the navigation bar, you will see members. By clicking on it, you will find all the members who have chosen and edited profile there. So contact us. Well, if you want, send us email or find a time for chat. For instance, in my case, take a look at there. So for our guests, check out our website, and we really wanted to meet you, and we really wanted to get to know you. Now, this space is for our new members. Now, here we go. Sorry, excuse me. Now, for our new member pledge, please affirm your commitment to competitivecommunicators.com club by answering I will to the following statements. So for our new members, Nick, Matthew, Scott, Darren, Imad, Jules, please unmute yourself. Answer I will by the end of the question, okay? Do you promise to attend meetings regularly and prepare carefully for each assignment?
I will.
I will.
I will.
Do you promise to apply yourself to the program outlined in the Toastmaster manuals?
I will.
I will.
Do you promise
Halfway.
to participate actively in the club activities?
I will.
I will.
I will.
Do you promise to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner? Excuse me for the typo.
I will.
I will.
It's okay.
Well done. Do you promise to build an open, friendly relationship with your fellow Toastmasters?
I will.
I will.
Do you promise to treat my fellow club members, our fellow club members, and our guests with respect and courtesy?
I will.
I will.
Do you promise to bring other new members into the club so that they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters?
I
I
will.
will.
I will.
Do you promise to act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities?
I
I
will.
will.
Well, now, well done. Thank you, everyone, for being in this space. Now, would all club members please sit up? I would love to invite you to stand up, but if you do that, we won't be able to see your handsome and beautiful faces. So please sit up and unmute yourself and repeat our club's pledge to our new officers and members. Are you ready? Count down 3. 1, 2, 3.
We,
the members of the competitivecommunicators.com
Pledge.
support you with
support you with self-development, provide you with a positive, helpful evaluation,
Helpful evaluation.
To maintain
maintain in a friendly, supportive atmosphere, give you opportunities to help others, and make your Toastmaster membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience.
Building experience.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. On behalf of our club, big welcome, and cannot wait to embark on this journey with you. Now, back to our Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I thought you, Sunny and Lumen, did a wonderful job of those two things. It's now.
And Toastmaster Tricia, we also thank Co-Vice President of Membership, William Thomas, for helping us with the information for the installation.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, William. Thank you, anyone who helped in any manner whatsoever, who inspires us every day to come here, or every week to come and join this meeting. We'd love to see you. It is now time for our prepared speakers. And our first speaker will be Nick Lakhani. Nick will be presenting from the Pathways educational program from the Mastering Fundamentals Presentation Mastery Level 1, and his title is Crystal Clear. The scenario today is that we are all small business owners attending a networking event, and Nick is the guest speaker. After his speech, you'll be able to create a clear elevator pitch for your business by using a simple 3-step process that Nick will share with you. Please help me welcome Nick Lakhani with Crystal Clear.
What I'm going to do to help you today is I'm going to help you double your clients. Would that be of interest to you? What I do is I help business owners speak clearly to their clients. And so I'm going to share with you a 3-step process that helps you with your elevator pitch. Now, this is important. Pay attention. An elevator pitch is a short yet effective introduction to your business. It's deadly important, as sometimes you only have 30 seconds to attract someone's interest. Let me explain with a quote. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it. You just don't understand it well enough. And that quote was from someone you may have heard of, Albert Einstein. And I repeat, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Simplicity is really important for your elevator pitch. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about my 3-step process, which is called BSM. Now, as you can see on here, BSM are 3 simple letters. And what I do is I help my customers in England remember them with a very simple phrase: the British School of Motoring. Now, for most of you, that means nothing. Over in the UK, the BSM, British School of Motoring, is the biggest organization that actually helps people drive, learn to drive. So what do I do for you? Most of you are in the States. So let's go with something topical. How about American presidents? No, not Trump. How about Bill Clinton? You remember him. So what we're going to do is we're going to think about Bill. And do you remember what musical instrument he played? He played the saxophone. He also was a great one for education. He loved the intern program as well, didn't he? So what we're going to do is we're going to have BSM standing for Bill Serenades Monica. Now, are you going to remember this? Bill Serenades Monica, BSM. So what, I hear you ask? Well, what does a B stand for? Okay, Nick, what does a B stand for? The B stands for benefit rich. If I've got an elevator pitch and I say to you, hi, my name's Nick, I'm a business coach, and I can help you grow your business. What does that mean, really? What does it mean? So if I make it benefit rich, I will change it to something like, hi, my name's Nick, I'm a business coach, and what I can do is I can help you increase your profits. That's a bit more benefit. That's money in your pocket. Or if I say I can help you increase the numbers of your customers. But again, that's something of benefit to you. So make it benefit rich. The S stands for specific. Here we go. If I say on my elevator pitch, I'm a business coach, I'm going to increase your profits. How about I'm a business coach and I'm going to increase your profits by 50% in 90 days, by 50% in 90 days. Okay? I'm being specific. Don't tell them about buy a lot, buy this much, that much. Be specific. And in your line of business, you should be able to pull something out which actually you can actually then claim to be a proper figure. Now, what does the M stand for? The M stands for memorable, so that people remember it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it memorable with two different things. I'm going to say, for open-minded businesses, okay, so I'm saying only certain people qualify. So I'm adding a source of scarcity to it. For open-minded businesses, I can increase your profits by 50% in 90 days or your money back. Would that be of interest to you? So what I've just done there is I've gone through the three-step process. I've gone and actually helped you get a clear elevator pitch. Don't tell them about how you're going to do it. Doesn't matter. They just want to actually look at the benefits to themselves and also by how much. So they wanted to be specific, and also you want them to remember it. Okay? In conclusion, elevator pitches are so important. What you have is sometimes 15 seconds to make your point. Otherwise, people just switch off. What can you do to take BSM? Don't forget, it's not Bill serenades Monica. It's actually benefits, rich, specific, and memorable. Are you going to remember it? And how are you going to use it to get your next client? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nick. And our next speaker will be Kanan Sankara, and he also will be presenting a speech from Pathways, and he is going to be speaking from Team Collaboration, Level 5, demonstrating expertise and reflecting on his path. I didn't see a title, but I will go ahead and introduce Kanan.
My title itself is Reflection of My Path, Team Collaboration. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. I have found that my journey for the last 2 months in team collaboration path enhanced my learning skills. I have faced a few challenges during this journey. During my journey on this path, team collaboration, I found that most of the paths in Pathways are same, but there are differences in level 4 and level 5. I want to tell you some of the paths that I enjoyed, and I would like to share my experience with you. Managing hostile audience project helped me to understand how to tackle different types of audience. When I gave the speech, there were not different types of audience. There was only one type, that's all very hostile. The role players did a fantastic job in playing the roles. It was not rehearsed earlier, and I found it very difficult to pacify them. In that project, I tried to apologize as a newspaper editor who had published the death of a beloved politician who was 86 years old, but was only in critical condition. Unfortunately, he died after 2 days. This is based on a real incident in my state in India. But in my real life, I had faced this situation only once when we rolled off some of the employees due to budget crisis. I wish I had taken the review of leading the volunteer organization 10 years ago, as I could have done certain things better for my organization, Enlighten. Most of you would not have forgotten as I spoke about Enlighten in one of the meetings. We had failed as officers in handling the affairs of the volunteer organization. I had learned from that project that for a volunteer organization, it is very difficult to get committed officers. If the officers come on board, they need something in return. There are many legal formalities that we need to know before starting or closing an organization. And we need to plan for continuous service, for which recruitment of officers and training must be an ongoing process. I learned a lot on that. We are in the process of closing that volunteer organization. I also did a project in active listening. The project helped me to listen to the Toastmaster speeches and provide honest and critical evaluation. Providing honest and critical evaluation is necessary for the growth of every Toastmasters. In many clubs, the evaluators only evaluate the speaker and not the speech. They feel if the speaker is good, he or she will always provide great speeches, which may not be true. We need to learn to evaluate the speeches without any bias about the speaker. I did the final motivating others project in Royal Road Toastmaster. I talked about my wife's motivation when I lost my job for the 8th time in the IT field. I had a great evaluation from one of the seasoned Toastmasters, which helped me to improve better. Even today, when I feel a little bit on the downside, I think of my wife's motivation. I feel more relaxed. My team collaboration project, citing my Toastmaster experience as a division director, was liked by many Toastmasters. I hope to get similar themes in my future endeavors in Toastmasters. As part of the public relations strategies, I need to start a podcast on pathways. I also want to start a blog. This is my immediate goal for the next 2 months. I need to start a podcast. I feel ashamed that even though I work in the IT field for the last 50 years, I still did not venture to create a website or to work on a podcast. The kids are doing a better job. I feel really ashamed. Overall, I like this team collaboration path as it provided me great ideas. I would like to redo some of the projects when I have the opportunity. I will do those projects only after 3 months, after a break of 3 months, so that I can think of using a better topics and better speeches. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. And before we proceed to our next section, which is table topics, I would like to bring to the virtual lectern our inspiration for today, who Darren will be sharing that with us here.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. My inspiration quote today is from John Carrickey by On the Road. The only people for me are the mad ones, the ones who are mad to live, mad to talk, mad to be saved, desirous of everything at the same time, the ones who never yawn or say a commonplace thing, but burn, burn, burn like fabulous yellow Roman candles exploding like spiders across the stars. And in the middle you see the blue city light pop and everybody goes, ah. And that's the quote for today. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Darren. I'm sorry I overlooked you earlier. I will now turn the virtual lectern over to our next leader, who will be Isabel, who will be leading our table topic section. Please help me welcome Isabel.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Yes. Last Tuesday, our club had a championship evaluation workshop by Rich Hopkins. In light of Rich's teaching, I choose to talk about speech evaluation in today's table topic session. Our members and guests have the opportunity to give an impromptu speech for 1 to 2 minutes. Please try to speak at least 1 minute. If your speech is over 2 minutes, you will see the red signal from our timer. At that point, please wrap up in 30 seconds. I have 4 topics. Madam Toastmaster, how much time do we have for this section?
We have until, we have about 7 minutes, so maybe 2 or 3.
Okay. So please listen attentively when I announce each topic. After asking a question related to the topic, I will call a speaker to talk about it. What if the speaker has nothing to say about the given topic? In that case, the speaker can change the subject and talk for a minute anyway. Is it simple enough? Ready, set, go. The first topic is about the sandwich method in speech evaluation, which means to say something positive, something negative, and end the evaluation in a positive statement. That's my favorite method. What's your favorite way of giving each speech evaluation? Joanne Foster, what's your favorite way to give a speech evaluation? Please help me welcome Joanne.
Thank you, Table Topics Master of the Evening and fellow Toastmasters and guests. For me, my favorite way to give evaluations is to do lots of listening and taking notes of key points. The reason I take notes of key points is to just jog my memory so that I can make a good statement or an effective and helpful statement about the speech, and hopefully to help the person who's making the speech. So when I'm doing evaluations, I like to take just notes of 1 or 2 words that jog my memory. Also with the listening, I like to look at the gestures and to see where the stresses are. So in other words, I like to see what the person accentuates when they're speaking, so that will help me get more meaning out of the speeches and also out of the roles. So for me, watching carefully, listening, and empathetic listening, and taking notes with just short phrases or a few words helps jog my memory and helps me to be a more effective evaluator. So I thank you. Good evening, and back to you. Thank you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Joanne. I think you got this exactly right. We first need to listen carefully, then we need to evaluate the speech and try to take notes. That's excellent. The second topic is about certain bad examples about evaluation. One of the worst evaluation approaches talked by Rich is called the wrecking ball. It's which means nothing but criticism. In Toastmasters, we almost never hear a wrecking ball evaluation, but in real life, most of us have encountered completely negative feedback. Do you want to share your opinion on the wrecking ball evaluation? With this question, I would like to call one of our guests, Ursula Wright. Please help me welcome Ursula.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. First off, I want to say my name's Ursula. I know it's a little complicated to pronounce, but just think of the octopus in Little Mermaid who is named Ursula, and you will remember my name. And if you haven't watched The Little Mermaid, definitely do that. So one of the things that you asked was, what is an example of a wrecking ball evaluation? And I can definitely tell you that I've had several. I have worked in environments where getting feedback was not taking the person receiving the feedback into consideration. For example, I'll give you an example. One was a manager who didn't talk to me about my work performance or certain things that went on, and talked with coworkers and evaluated me based on what other folks had said versus myself. And that didn't go so well. It ended up being a lot of back and forth, and eventually him coming to an understanding that maybe he didn't have all the information before he provided the evaluation. So I would say that for those who are in a position to give someone evaluations, is to make sure that you get all the information that you need, background information. So I'm not talking about doing a speech with Toastmasters, since this is my first Toastmasters with you guys, and I don't clearly understand how you give evaluations. But I would say make sure that you have all the information about a person's activities before providing feedback. And back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Ursula. I really appreciate for your sharing your thoughts on the evaluation, and I think it's so important to keep our audience in mind when we give feedback. Unfortunately, our time's up, so we have to end the table topic session here. We have two speakers. Our first speaker is Joanne Foster, and our second speaker is Ursula. In the beginning of this meeting, I asked the members to send me your name on the chat if you would like to involved in the table topics. This meeting, I already received it too. And if we have time, I hope we have more volunteers. Thank you for our volunteers, and this concludes our table topic section. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Isabel, and thank you for continuing on the theme of today's meeting, which was always a added bonus, I believe. Now it is time for our third and last portion of the meeting, which is our evaluation portion. And I believe this is one of the most important ones of the meeting. We get instant feedback. We know something that we did well, something we could work on. And the person that will be heading this section is our dear friend, Tricia Palmer. Please help me welcome Tricia.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. As Trish said, the evaluation portion, I think, too, is the most important. For the benefit of our guests, the way the general evaluation works is first we will have the speech evaluation, then we will have the various reports. Tonight, I'd like to keep the reports as concise as possible. And then after that, I will give a general evaluation of the meeting. It's not a recap of the meeting, it's what we did well, what we were challenged by, and anything that may have not been addressed, whether it be speeches, evaluations, table topics. So with that said, I'd like to go to our first evaluator, who is Scott Johnston, and Scott will be evaluating Nick's speech. So I turn it over to Scott.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Nick's speech was evaluation and feedback, second speech from his pathways. I was lucky enough to evaluate Nick on his first speech, and there was a couple of things that I asked Nick to look at before presenting the same speech a second time. And one of the things that I asked him to do was opening a speech with a bigger bang and giving the audience, the small business people, some big promise. Well, this time around, Nick has really nailed this speech because he has given us a big promise. He has connected with us, and we have been so interested in listening to what he had to say. And in actual fact, he had big promises right through his speech, which Nick has really improved on. I'm just amazed how much improvement Nick has shown in this second speech. Another thing that I asked Nick to look at was to look at his transitions from one point to the next point. Well, Nick has excelled in that also, because I thought the transitions from one point to the next were magnificent. And some of the things that were really good that Nick did is I liked the opening, which was the big promise, the bang, and also the roadmap where we had BSM. And I'm sure people will walk away from here understanding what the elevator pitch is all about. That's one thing that Nick had originally asked to look at, and also the roadmap, which is the BSM. And Nick showed great skill. He had humour. So congratulations to you, Nick. I would only be nitpicking if I looked at anything that you should improve, because you've improved it greatly. So continue on the way you're doing. I'm glad you took the feedback on board and introduced it into your second speech. Congratulations, and I really look forward to evaluating another speech, Nick, because this was a fine second speech, and you did take the feedback on board, and it's improved greatly. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much for your evaluation, Scott. Our next evaluator is Frank.
Frank Rubio. Yes.
Frank Rubio. He'll be evaluating Kanan's speech. Frank?
Hello. Thank you. It was a pleasure to evaluate Kanan's speech about his pathways reflection. He finished a whole pathway. Wow. I'm impressed. Very good. Job well done. I kind of reacted to his speech in a way with just a lot of interest. I'm right into level 2. I'm getting there. Well, I got a long way to go, but I just wanted to really hear about your experience. And I remember you spoke about when you first opened your speech that it's a journey. It's a long journey, and it was full of challenges and things that you enjoy doing too. I like the way you said that it's evaluations that kept you going, and they were the best help ever, hearing things of what you need to improve. You ended strongly with that challenge of a podcast. So you're still looking for even to do more challenging things. I do have one recommendation. In the beginning of your speech, for me, I would like if you would just list the things you're going to talk about things you enjoy, your experiences, and what you see in your future, just to help me follow along. So what if you tried it? I don't know. I hope you might like it, and it might be easier to follow. But even without that, Hunan, your speech was interesting, and the way you understood the audience, that you just get better and better and better. Just that little list of improving up front, and your presentation really worked today for me, because you're at the end of your journey, but even at the end of your journey, you're ready to start a brand new journey into podcast, so it doesn't end. And back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much for that evaluation. And we will go straight on to our timers report. So Cheryl, can you please give us a concise timer report?
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I will give the ones I thought were key. Our introductions took 10 minutes, and so did our 2 ceremonies. Our inspiration was 34 seconds. Nick's speech was 5 minutes, 51 seconds. Kanan's was 6 minutes and 16 seconds. Our table topic speakers, Joanne was 1 minute 27 and Ursula 2 minutes 4 seconds. Our two evaluators were also right on time. Scott for Nick was 2 minutes and 10 seconds and Frank for Kanan was 1 minute 57. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much for the timer's report. We're going on to our off counter, who is Matthew. Matthew, if you can please give us a concise report, it would be appreciated.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Isabel, I heard 7. Nick, 1. Min Lu, 7. Joanne, 5. Darren, you had 3. Frank, I heard 2. And Frank, I heard Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much for that. Our next report is our grammarian. And our grammarian today is Denaje. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, I do apologize to you. So can you please give us a concise grammarian report, please?
Teresa, he actually dropped off, so we won't have one.
Okay. Well, let's go on to our body language monitor, Rolando. May I please have a concise report?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. We had a wonderful suitable lines presence today. We had the speaker, Nick, had a great visual effect, and Kanan, great hand gestures. We had all of us looking good lighting. The only thing is the guests, be aware of there's a button stop from the video. A couple times I've seen a couple people that getting up and doing stuff. They could always mute the video if you got to get up and do something. But besides that, everything looked nice. We all look good. Congratulations to ourselves. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Rolando. Now that we have all our reports, what I will do now is give us a general evaluation. And I do have some help from my little guy here who will be helping with the general evaluation. His name is Lucky. So getting started with the evaluation, what happened today was, although all the roles essentially were filled, we tried to start the meeting on time. We were a few minutes late, but where we really got held up were the introductions. I appreciate the fact that we do the introductions, but I think if you have 23 people in the meeting, and not only do you have them say who they are, where they're from, and also ask them about mentoring, you're opening the door to almost a table topic session. And literally that's what happened. So it took us 20 minutes, almost 25 minutes to get through all the introductions. So that needs, the executive team and the president, they need to figure out a better way perhaps of doing that. Some clubs do not do introductions, they only introduce guests, which I think also is a good idea. The second thing is I did appreciate the fact that there were induction ceremonies. Again, they were a little bit too long. There was time spent talking about the induction. Certain things were a little bit repeated. And I think, again, we need to be a little bit more concise. Sometimes I think we get a little bit off track when we're speaking, and we tend to kind of go here, there, and back to here instead of going straight to the point. So that's what I would say with regard to that. Again, I appreciated the fact that there was an induction ceremony. I just think it needed to be a little bit tighter, a little bit more concise, or otherwise allow more time during the meeting when you know that you're going to have an induction ceremony. The speakers, both speakers were evaluated. The only thing I would say about the evaluations are I think we need to give a little bit more challenges. An evaluation, anybody that heard Rich's workshop, was that evaluations really are about what you see, what you heard, and what you felt. It is the perspective of the evaluator, but in order for a speaker to improve, they do need to know where there is room for improvement. And although Nick gave a speech a second time, that doesn't mean that there's no room for improvement. It doesn't mean that it was just an excellent speech with no room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. So I think as evaluators, we all need to remember that we don't really do justice to people if we don't really do a thorough evaluation that addresses all the points. Other than that, I didn't see anything else that went on. I think there was a little bit too much chatting again while people were speaking. And that's something that, again, I think online social media kind of needs to be controlled. And I think with the online meetings, they kind of fall into that, where people don't realize that if you're chatting with somebody, brick and mortar club, and you're turning around speaking to somebody, or you pick up and leave in the middle of somebody's speech. So I would just make people aware of that any comments you have could be said before the speaker or after the speaker. Other than that, I have nothing else to say with my general evaluation. I think I covered everything. If I didn't, I think Aaron will let me know, or Trish will let me know. So I'm going to turn it back over to Tricia. Thank you very much for having me as your evaluator tonight.
Thank you, Teresa. We always appreciate your opinion on our meetings. Hopefully we all will work together to make them the best meetings that we can. And I will now turn the meeting back over to our president, Aaron Long.
Thank you very much. So while I unmuted, so Tricia, can you give me a confirmation that you have edited the poll? Yes. So yeah, so feel free to give some comments about the polls for today, about the meeting. So we always want to constantly improve ourselves. So general evaluation notes has been taken down, and I will try to make it work, especially on the introduction part. That is something on my part. I'll have to make sure it's taken better control next time. So as we're waiting for it, so today, thanks to our club advisor, Cheryl, we have a nice list of mentors, the qualities of a mentor that is really important. People who are willing to put themselves in mentee shoes. This is an excellent trait to feel and be authentic as well. They have to be experienced and able to guide the mentee to success. They're also able to bring the changes to mentee's life. Have to be supportive, available when it's needed, and skilled at handling any task. There has to be accountability on both sides to value this relationship. Encouragements are always necessary. Mentee strengths are discovered and coached and guided, while the mentor has to be patient and a keen listener that's willing to give back everything. A few final traits would be that the mentor is compassionate and experienced and able to make a gentle correction on mentees' any mistakes. Is not a friend, but is willing to tell an honest improvement that can actually help the mentee to grow. And finally, to be authentic and genuine. Yeah, so I sum up most of the points that's mentioned early on today. Give a round of applause for everyone to contribute. And now we'll give 5 more seconds for the votes to tally it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and the results are shown here for everyone. Today, most of the members felt that it's great. 2 of them felt good, so I have to. One of them did not enjoy it, so I make sure that there will be a better improvement next time. We have to make sure it's always improvement. Hopefully that's a joke, but we're always challenging ourselves. Next, we have our favorite best prepared speaker. Matt, please keep track of all the winners. So our best winner, best prepared speaker goes to Nick. Give a round of applause to Nick, please. any comments from a winner of today's speech?
Well, actually, it's a really important point that in the Pathways Program Level 1, you have an opportunity to do the same speech twice. What I did was I did one in one club and then same again another club in this club. But what I was able to do was to actually have the same evaluator, and that I found I did that for the first time, and that was really valuable for me. So if you can do something like that, do it, because I felt as though I got a lot from it. And so again, thank you, Scott.
Round of applause. Next, I would like to welcome our best favorite table's topic speaker. It's Joanne Foster. Give a round of applause to Joanne Foster. Please share your thoughts for your winning speech.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you. I'm always growing, so please be honest with me, brutally honest. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you very much. Give a round of applause again. And next, we have the best evaluator. Best evaluator goes to one of our guests and also one of the seasoned Toastmaster I've seen on Facebook, Scott. Well, let's welcome Scott and welcome him to give some comments for today as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I find I really like evaluating because that's why we come to Toastmasters. We come to find what we've done well and how we can improve. And it made it a bit easier for me today because I'd evaluated Nick before, and as he mentioned, you know, I evaluated Nick in a different club, and I said I'd come and evaluate him again. So it was good for Nick, and also it was good for me because I could see the improvements that Nick had brought into his speech to make it a great improvement, and it was a great improvement. So I really enjoy evaluation. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Give a round of applause to Scott. Hopefully to see you more often in this club. Feel free to come by. We are always welcoming you here. Next is our best favorite facilitator. Who else can it be? The Toastmaster of many hats, Tricia. Give a round of applause to Tricia. It was a close fight. Isabel is just one vote away. So
I feel proud for myself.
So
Yes.
Patricia, please share your thoughts.
Thank you. I always enjoy, I love being the Toastmaster of the day. It sets the tone, and I do apologize I wasn't here till right before the meeting. I was driving here as fast as I could without speeding.
Round of applause again. So finally, there's a hidden prize. What do you mean by hidden prize? Meaning that there's always a president award for the most improved. So basically, I'll appoint, or rather say, after many observations throughout the meetings, I've noticed that this person has improved the most. So I'll give this award the most improved award. Drum rolls. We need some momentum. The most improved award, actually, I would love to give to Frank. Give a round of applause to Frank, please. The reason why I would like to give this award to Frank is because Frank, from the start to this very day, I've seen Frank improve quite tremendously. He was very nervous, and when he first started to do the online, he was like, is my mic working? I'm not sure whether my technical stuff is doing well. And now look at him. He's very confident, at least he's facing us with cheerful smiles and making sure that there is a lasting impression of what an evaluator will do. Give a round of applause again to Frank. So share your thoughts for today as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I appreciate that. And yes, I really did try to listen and do the evaluation based on what I heard from before, and I'm still working on it. This is only like my third evaluation, and I just want to get better and better at it. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Finally, we will ask for feedbacks from anyone who have not spoken. That includes our members. So first of all, I would like to throw the ball to, let me see who has not spoken. Definitely Scott. Please share your thoughts for today. At the other Scott.
Is it me this time? Scott too?
Yeah, it's you.
All right, cool. Okay, so I thought there are some improvements. I think usually the meeting takes a long time because I have a lot of things on my list of to-dos, but I think the meeting's gotten a little shorter, so that's good. But I think there are some really interesting things in the very beginning. Just my personal take, though. I think Tricia, briefly go over how to operate your Zoom interface. I think that was super helpful, especially for first timers or for beginners. And the ceremony was very refreshing. It's a new thing that was pretty interesting. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Thanks.
Give a round of applause to Scott, and please sign up for roles. New members always have priorities. We give the icebreakers. Remember that. So yeah, go and sign up for roles later on. Our Sunny will be actually listing out the roles later on. So I'm giving a heads up for Sunny. Next, I would like to welcome Darren. Give some thoughts for today.
My mind's blank, actually. It was good. I liked Nick's speech. Is very structured and well thought out with the mnemonics. Yeah, that's all I have to say for this moment.
Thank you very much. Give a round of applause to Darren. Does anyone still remember Nick's three-letter word? Anyone can shout out.
VSM. VSM, I remember.
VSM.
Bill and Monica, I remember. I need to remember what is important for me.
BSM. Thank you, Nick, for sharing that board. Next, I would like to welcome, can I welcome Chris, if he's still there? Chris, I know you're there. I just not saw him, but it's not. Oh, Asia, either one. Asia, are you there? Everyone is gone. No, I'll throw the ball to William then. How are your thoughts for today? Oh, Asia, please.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I am I'm learning how to finagle through Zoom. But I'm Asia, and what was the question? I'm sorry.
Your feedbacks. How are your feelings for today?
Oh, I actually thought it was a great meeting. I love you guys' input. I like the speeches. The second speaker was, I'm not evaluating, but I found the second speaker really passionate about his topic. I enjoyed Ursula, and I'm very comfortable. A little taken aback by the whole online thing, so I'm getting used to it. I have to get used to that, but thanks for having me.
So let's give a round of applause. Everyone, please give a round of applause to Asia to welcome her as a guest as well again. So sometimes we actually have a body language monitor which actually helps you to guide yourself to look at the camera. So for Asia, your camera is actually tilting up. So usually I love the rule as a body language. So your angle is actually looking up. So you might actually want to put it aligned with your eye level so we can look you in the eye. So when you put the camera and we look you at the eye as a camera, we feel connected. So that is usually how we work. So if you notice in the gallery view, like Kanan, Tricia, Mingliu, Matt, everyone is actually looking at the eye level to make sure that we are comfortable with each other. Something like that. That is a big improvement. So
like that?
The slight tilt can make a difference. So that is how we help people to feel comfortable on the screen. So give a round of applause for Asia. Next, can I welcome our assistant VPM, William Thomas? If he's still there. William, are you there? William is not there. Okay, then I would like to welcome one of our distinguished guests, a good friend of mine as well in China, Zoe. Zoe, can you switch on your camera? Zoe, are you there? Hi, Zoe. Are you still trying out? It's her first time to go online, so yeah. Maybe the connection is not working for Zoe, but no worries. Thank you for everyone for coming by to this meeting. Mentoring is an important element. And what's staying tuned for the next meeting? Let's find out with our VPE, Sunny. Give a round of applause to Sunny, and let's welcome her up the stage.
Thank you, Mr. President. For next week, everybody, just about all the roles are open. We do have one speaker, so if you're new, you want to do inspiration. If you're new, perhaps you can do odd counter. Please go and sign up. We have roles available for the odd counter, the grammarian, the body language monitor, chat monitor. Those are relatively lightweight, so they're not a major role, but it would give you an opportunity just to speak.